Eternals is out now, and with it comes the debut of a new character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Did I just say a new character? Because it's basically like 20 characters. Almost everybody in this entire movie is brand new. You know what? Let's start over. One of the new characters introduced in the post-credits scene of Eternals is Eros, brother of Thanos, also known as the Avenger Starfox. And I hope you like this picture of him because it's basically the only one that I could get without the risk of Kevin Feige showing up to my house and whisking me off to some weird Disney-themed Guantanamo Bay. Today's video is going to break down this very controversial new character. We're going to break down his comic book origins, early adventures, abilities, some controversies surrounding the character, and what he's up to now. This is not a complete history video, but it is going to cover a ton of his history. Basically, by the end of this video, you're going to know everything that you need to know about Starfox to make you sound a lot cooler to your friends who don't. That being said, let's discuss Starfox. Eros made his first comic book cameo in Iron Man 55 by Jim Starlin, the very same issue as his much more famous brother, Thanos. Iron Man 55 primarily tells the story of Iron Man and a very aesthetically different version of Drax the Destroyer facing the Blood Brothers, two villains sent by the then unnamed villain Thanos to apprehend Iron Man. And realistically, this is Eros' first appearance, but it's more of a cameo. He only appears in one panel, has no dialogue, and the only thing we know about him at this point is that he is related in some way to the villains we are just now meeting for the first time in this book. That being said, let's jump forward a bit chronologically. Eros' next appearance, and what many people would consider to be his first true appearance, was Captain Marvel 27. In this multiple-issue story arc, we saw Captain Marvel and many others facing Thanos on his home turf of Saturn. Thanos was planning on using a device called the Mind Cyclone to download the contents of Captain Marvel's memories. Thanos hoped that within these memories he would be able to learn the location of the most powerful weapon in the galaxy, the Cosmic Cube. At this time, Captain Marvel, or Mar-Vell, was bonded with the hero Rick Jones. Thanos' forces, including the Super Skrull, were able to capture the bonded duo, and the two were sent to Titan, where Thanos was able to download Rick and Mar-Vell's memories into Isaac. Isaac, or the Integral Synaptic Anti-Ionic Computer, is a giant computer that takes up almost the complete interior of the moon Titan, created by Thanos' father, Mentor. This computer basically ran all of Titan for Mentor, the leader of Titan, before Thanos began his conquest of the planet, and we'll cover more of that later. Captain Marvel is imprisoned on Titan while Thanos leaves to obtain the Cosmic Cube, but they are broken out of captivity by the Titan Eternals Eros and Mentor, Thanos' brother and father respectively. Eros and Mentor are two of the last Titanian Eternals, willing to stand up to Thanos and willing to risk everything to help Rick and Mar-Vell. They transform into Captain Marvel, and the group attempts to fight back the forces of Thanos and head towards the control center of Isaac and stop Thanos' plan of conquering the galaxy. And after a brutal fight with the Super Skrull, the team ends up victorious and Captain Marvel leaves, headed towards Earth to stop Thanos. Eros and Mentor stay behind to continue fighting Thanos' forces and retake their home. Now, as is customary in these videos, I'm going to jump around a little bit chronologically because stuff gets retconned and moved around and backstory gets added later and it's all just kind of wonky, so I want to make sure that this makes the most sense for you. Eros is, like his brother Thanos and father Mentor, an Eternal. Eternals are of course a genetic offshoot of humanity created by the Celestials as a pet project and stationed on Earth. Thousands of years ago, there was a tremendous amount of disagreement and discord between two of the most powerful Eternals, Zuros and Alars, on what the goals of the Eternal species should be. The main source of strife between the two came from the fact that Zuros wanted to keep the number of Eternals limited, where Alars sought to expand. Typically, Eternals could not breed together, however Alars believed that through science they may find a way to increase their numbers. War broke out between the two opposing factions before an agreement was made between the two. Alars was allowed to leave, hoping to form a new Eternal settlement on the planet Titan. There, Alars traveled to Titan where he met another exiled Eternal, Sui-san. The two began populating Titan with Eternal clones and aliens, and under their leadership, the planet Titan became a paradise. Lars begged his father Kronos to assist him in his quest to create true eternal offspring, and in kind, Kronos provided them with the quantum bands as wedding rings. The bands allowed the two of them, through unknown means, to produce biological offspring, Eros and Thanos. Eros is often shown as a bit of a braggart and a definite ladies' man, something that's gotten him into some serious trouble that we'll cover in a bit, but after living the majority of his early life on Titan and eventually helping repel his brother's efforts to conquer the planet, Eros is left a bit lost. Following the death of Captain Marvel, Eros consulted Isaac about what he should do and where he should go. He ended up going to Earth and joining up with the one group of people he knew there, the Avengers. He was initially viewed pretty skeptically, being compared to Thanos, but he silenced the group when he mentions Loki's relationship to Thor mirroring his own relationship with his brother. There, Eros was christened Starfox by Wasp, who named him that because he's from the stars and he was hot. The group also believed that the name Eros would be viewed pretty poorly due to his connection to Thanos. His first mission with the Avengers was to stop the rampaging Plant Man, whom they're able to pretty easily defeat. From there, he's christened as an Avenger, and over the next few months, he has a relatively storied career as an Avenger, facing off against a number of threats and continuing his feud with his brother Thanos. However, just to jump forward a bit more into the future, I want to discuss the controversy surrounding the character, and we haven't really discussed many of Starfox's abilities yet, and that's because I was saving them for this portion of the video. Starfox's main power is that he's able to mentally manipulate the emotion of others, and primarily focuses on stimulating pleasure senses. In addition to those abilities, he has all the other powers common to Eternals: super strength, speed, durability, and flight. And from a personality perspective, Starfox is often shown to be kind of a space hoe. He's often depicted as a character who goes from woman to woman without too much concern as to how these relationships affect him or others long term. These powers of his have gotten him into trouble in the past, however, none more impactful than during the mid-2000s run of She-Hulk by Dan Slott. In 2005's She-Hulk series, we see Starfox leaving a hotel room after having had relations with an Earthwoman named Christina Garvey. Christina was a happily married woman, but she was coerced into having relations with Starfox by Eros using his powers. Subsequently, Starfox is meant to stand trial. Despite the fact that Starfox is quite frequently shown as a fairly promiscuous person, he had never been accused of using his powers in this way, or I guess you could say in a very unethical manner. Additionally, in terms of his personality, he just seems off. She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, was hired to represent Starfox in trial. However, even she became suspicious when she noticed that Starfox is involuntarily coercing the entire courtroom and all of the witnesses. After the testimony of Christina, She-Hulk grows concerned that Eros used his powers on her when they had a romantic relationship back when Starfox first joined the Avengers. Eros is offended and decides to just leave Earth, not wishing to stand trial anymore. However, She-Hulk, now completely enraged, ends up catching him before he can leave and savagely beats him. Eros is restrained by Jennifer, and after the attack, Mentor, his father, concerned for his son's safety, transports him back to Titan for a new trial under Titan's law. A few issues later, Jennifer is transported to Titan in order to take part in that trial. Overseen by the Living Tribunal, a new trial exists. They use a form of telepathy called the Shalom Mayan trial to avoid anyone being able to lie. During this process, they're able to meld Jennifer and Eros' mind, where Jennifer finds out that Eros did not use his powers on her when they had relations. She does, however, learn that her marriage to John Jameson was caused by Eros using his powers on her to cause her to become infatuated with him. Again, this is something that Eros would normally not do, and it's completely unethical. Shockingly though, Thanos, Eros' brother, arrives to provide testimony as well. Thanos claims that as a child, he had accidentally killed an animal, and was so devastated by his actions that Eros used his abilities to cause him to embrace and love the entity of death. By Titan's laws, this means that all of the genocides committed by Thanos due to his lust after death were in part caused by Starfox. After Thanos' testimony, Jennifer becomes extremely suspicious of the entire process as it's unfolded so far and Starfox's behavior. Moondragon connects Thanos, Jennifer, and Starfox's mind, and after circumventing Thanos' mental blocks, they were able to determine that Thanos implanted a memory into Starfox's mind in an attempt to ruin his life. This false memory is what caused Starfox to use his powers on the woman and others unethically, essentially absolving him of his guilt. It was this false memory that caused Starfox to act mentally unstable and use his powers in this unethical manner. So additionally, Eros asks Moondragon to turn his powers off so that he can no longer use them and be manipulated by anyone else in the future. However, it is shown later that his powers are restored and they never explain how or why. And there's really only one more event that I want to cover today, and that is the dreaded D word. Yes, Starfox, like 99% of other comic book characters, dies. So let's discuss the tragic events that lead to Starfox taking a space dirt nap. Recently, Thanos, the ever-present scourge of the Avengers and the universe, is killed during the event Infinity Wars. Thanos is killed by Gamora, who was under the disguise of Requiem, and was able to ambush and kill Thanos using a sword empowered with the power gem that she stole from Star-Lord. However, after the assassination, it's revealed that this man just can't stay dead. Eros is able to retrieve his brother's body and will, and within the will, it's revealed that Thanos, the ever-present forward thinker, had his consciousness uploaded to a new host before his death. Starfox forms a team of Dark Guardians, composed of some of my personal favorite characters in the Marvel Universe: Gladiator, Nebula, himself, Ghost Rider, and Wraith, all band together to hunt down Gamora, who they believe is the most likely candidate. In a cruel twist of fate, it's learned that Thanos did not plan to be reborn in Gamora's body, but instead planned to use Starfox's. The Black Order, commanded by Hela, took Thanos' body to nowhere, where they planned to resurrect him within Eros. However, Starfox was killed by Gamora, who did not want to risk Thanos being reborn. Gamora ends up killing Starfox, but it doesn't prevent Thanos from being reborn. However, Thanos is reborn with a fractured psyche and almost immediately ends up getting sucked into a black hole anyway. So you know what? You win some, you lose some. So yeah, as of right now in the comic books, Eros is dead, but let's be honest, comic books are comic books. Starfox will probably be reborn in some capacity. He is an Eternal after all, that's kind of their thing. And that is about it for this video and all of the stuff I wanted to cover on Starfox. Thank you guys very much for watching the video. This has been Nick with Key Issues. Remember to like and subscribe and do all those other things that YouTubers tell you to do. And remember the motto, Starfox over everything.